Welcome to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check, waifu. Montel, is that you?
Brolo, what's good?
This is episode 245 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Patreon. Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu. It's where you get early access to the video version of this podcast. It's where you get access to our conversational bonus podcast, The After Story. You get access to Mic Check mangas and take talks and other exclusive video content over on Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu. Couldn't do this without our Patreon producers. Shout out to the Patreon producers over on Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu. Christian, the archivist, Rob from Dad Needs to Talk podcast, Saphir, Gold, D, Dre, Ked the Pro from Chaotic Culture, Explicitly, All for One Matt, Monique Williams, Nachi, Semi Sensei, Frozen, Rob Stone, and T Money Fingers. Thank you so much for producing this and many episodes of the podcast. We appreciate you. It means the world to us. Thank you so much. Next week is the live episode, which is 246, March 24th. We're doing a live episode on youtube.com/@Mic Check Waifu or on X, I guess people call it, x.com/Mic Check Waifu. We'll be live on both of those to discuss the spring preview, because by the time you're hearing this, technically it's about 2 days away from spring, and the spring anime season is coming up quickly. So make sure you guys if you are in our Discord, which you can go to our Discord on miccheckwaifu.com. On the side panel, there's a join Discord button. You can join our Discord and you can leave your sleeper pick, and you can leave your most anticipated over in our Discord episode discussion topic. That's where all of those are. Or you can come to the live and just drop it in the live, and we'll let you know how we feel about that. We also are going to be dropping our sleepers and going through every spring seasonal anime that interests us. We're going to try to make our list on AniList and see if we can come up with some more bangers like we did this winter. This episode is basically the close of the winter. It's episode 11s and episode 22s and 27s, and it's the episode before the end of the season this week. So we're going to discuss this season in its entirety, what we like, what we didn't like, what we thought could be better, what we want to be better, and a little bit of a discussion about a particular show that we're going to talk about here shortly. But Mic Check Waifu was the anime podcast brought to you every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. CT. Every Tuesday. Also, I forgot to mention this. Also, make sure you go to the Wonder of Anime YouTube channel. So youtube.com/@thewonderofanime and listen to my special episode where I have a special guest on her podcast to discuss my love for Clannad and the details of that. It's a very good episode, fantastic episode. We go into details about
phenomenal.
This podcast. We go into detail about my love for Clannad and how it changed me and how it changed my whole aspect of watching anime now. So check that out. youtube.com/@thewonderofanime or any podcast services. Just search The Wonder of Anime and you should find it. A great episode, honestly, truly.
And it's only like what, 50 minutes long, 58 minutes, something around there.
Yeah, it's an hour. It's just an hour. It's about 58 minutes. So yeah, listen to the whole thing. Make sure you leave a review on that. Leave a like on the YouTube video. We appreciate it. Also, go to our YouTube channel. We should try to build up our subscribers over there. We're going to try to promote our YouTube a little bit more than we have been. You can watch the video version of this podcast, even though it comes out a week later for everybody else. You can still watch it over on our YouTube channel. So subscribe. We appreciate it. All right. Tell, how you feeling, brother?
It's been a crazy week, and it actually it wasn't crazy to start off with, bro. It wasn't a crazy week to start off with. It was actually
made it crazy.
We had a tornado on Friday. Yeah, so it was to me, and you know me, I don't really panic or nothing like that. I'm gonna just panicking ain't my thing, because I feel like if you panic, you don't know what to do next. So panicking ain't really my thing, and so I didn't really panic. But it was funny because, you know, my wife, she kind of went into panic mode. But she's the mom, so she's getting the kids like emotionally ready, and I'm getting everybody like, well, this is what we got to do. Ready, yeah. So it was funny because we're like walking in and out the garage, you know, doing a little weightlifting stuff, joking, going. We got a deep freezer, so we go in the deep freezer, mixing stuff. But we just doing like regular daily stuff, and we laughing and joking as we walk into the garage. And we know it's raining. We knew it was raining. You know what I mean? Rain will knock the power out for whatever reason. But we knew it was raining. Power's perfectly fine, and then we hear ding 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 ding. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, baby, that's hell. And she was like, you know, she did the little throw her hands up and start shaking, you know, like, and I was like Gizmo, like, ah! And I was like, okay, baby. I was like, let's just go in the house and let's just chill. She said, we got to get away from the windows. I was like, well, if it's big hail, let me look first. Then we need to get away from the windows. But if it's little hail, then it shouldn't be penetrating these windows. We got pretty tough windows for the most part. So I saw it was little hell, but it's that season, bro. And tornado, the funnel came down over City Hall, but didn't like fully connect. But everybody trees is down. They've been cleaning up trees since that day. Our power was only out for a little bit, and we still had Wi-Fi. And, you know, I ain't really saying about it because whatever. This is a natural thing. It happens, right? No idea. No idea, right? But no one even know that people got killed down the street from me a month ago. But it's just like, you know, and I'm not saying like that's the kind of, I'm just saying I don't really talk about everything that happened. But it was funny because it's like we had this tornado. Everybody freaked out, but everybody on my street is so dope. Like, it's this old man across the street who's 80 something. Neighbor over there asked to helped cut his trees, and you know he had trees covering his car. Neighbor asked, like, let me cut the trees down. He's like, nah, I got to get the insurance people first, and then you can help me do whatever you want. Our whole street just kind of pitched in to help whoever was around here. I didn't even know. My wife was offering to help people. I offered to help somebody, and they're like, oh yeah, your wife offered to help me too. And I'm just like, this street is dope. Like, I like this. Even though it's like one side is kind of old, the other side is new. It seems like to me it's actually pretty solid community of people who like cool. Yeah,
which is rare because in Houston proper is not like that. It's the opposite. So
I mean, but that's like being in Cleveland at that point. You know what I mean?
100%.
The hustle and bustle of a big city.
100%. So that's actually super dope. What's so crazy is that like it thunderstormed here, but I literally had no fucking idea any of that happened. Obviously, I'm in Austin, so I'm quite a ways away from Tell, but I had no idea none of that happened. Like I'm in here having the best time playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like it's nothing. It's a little thunder out there. That's crazy. Oh, okay. Oh well. And just like going around my jolly old life while Tell is dealing with tornadoes over there on the Houston side. That's crazy. I'm sure I wouldn't have had power where I used to live for sure.
But the thing is though, is that like literally 15 minutes this way, all they had was rain. You go towards Pearland, all they had was rain. They didn't even have lightning and thunder. So I was just like, oh, you know, it was just us. It would have been good then. That's crazy. It would have been good for sure. It was just us. Nobody even knew. Nobody knew.
No idea. That's so crazy. We're so close, but yet so far.
Hey, it's like that, bro. It'd be like that.
Such a wild thing. Anyway,
what's going on with you, bro, Lo?
Like I said, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth since I finally beat Persona 3. I completed it. Listen, this is an anime podcast, and maybe I should save it for the after story. But I'm one achievement away from 100% in Persona 3, and
Let's go.
it's such a stupid. I missed it. Like I can go back, I guess, but like it's done. The game is done. It's completed. So I'm pretty upset about missing that one achievement. But I'm about 25 hours into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. There's 14 chapters. I'm on chapter 6. I'm blasting through it, man. I'm enjoying it a lot.
I mean, bro, as a gamer who clearly doesn't game necessarily as much as you, but as a gamer, right? Go back and get that achievement. You feel me?
Man, it's because what it is. Okay, so it's this achievement that I'm not too sure I can go back and get without restarting everything, without relatively going far back into the game to where I'm like, but I can skip everything else because since I already completed it and just focus on that, because it's this achievement where I have to, I guess it's not really a spoiler. There's somebody named Elizabeth who helps you with fusing personas and stuff in Persona 3. You have to invite her to your room, and that's the only achievement I'm missing. And you can spend time with her, but it doesn't advance the day. But I was just kind of skipping past that for a long time until I got to like the second to last month of the game, which is January. And I got to the point where I'm like, oh shit, I better do these so I can get that achievement. But it takes her a couple of days to say, okay, let's go do the next thing. Okay, let's go do the next thing. Okay, let's go do the next thing. And by that time I got there, it was already into the game.
You got to basically start like halfway through the story with her. Make sure you're just paying attention.
I think the latest save I got that may work is like December 27th. And I think the last month is the end of January. So I might be able to do it, but
you out here achievement hunting. The only games I could ever say I legit got achievements on was Need for Speed Most Wanted, that I got every achievement on. And I loved it too.
Deep on that game.
Oh my god, that was my shit. Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I know I got like damn near every achievement on there. And then if Pokemon had achievements, you already know what it is.
I'm not really an achievement hunter either, but Personas was so achievable that I'm like, well, I might as well. And
and you're just enjoying the game, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And then the other platinum I got is Ghost of Tsushima on PlayStation. I fucking love it.
Yeah, but you deserve that one.
That one is great. So technically I got 2 platinums because I played both on PS4 and PS5, but I digress. Anyway, let's talk about anime. What was your episode of the week this week, Tel?
It's hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. Very hard to choose. A lot of great episodes, man.
Can you just go first for this one? Because normally I go first on episode of the week. You can go first on this one.
100%. I'll try my best. I'm gonna, you know what? Ooh, that's a good one too. Okay, I'm gonna go with Classroom of the Elite. That was my episode of the week this week. I fucking loved what happened this episode, but I'm not gonna go into that too much. Maybe I'll bleep that out.
I mean, yeah, maybe just that part. Yeah. But that was one of them episodes. You know, you feel me?
Yeah,
that episode was entirely different. And I'm not gonna say entirely different. There was just so many levels to it. So much revealed and so much talked about. So much detail, so much that we basically already kind of knew, but now we got confirmation. There was a lot in that episode. Man, it felt good to watch the episode. I'm not even gonna lie to you, it felt good. Before I get my episode of the week, can I get like a honorable mention to like?
You can do whatever you want. It's your show.
Wrong way to use healing magic, bro.
Oh yeah!
Holy shit!
Yeah,
that episode was phenomenal. I felt emotional. I felt emotional watching that shit, bro. I was like, oh my god.
Me too.
What am I watching here? As O would say, high quality mid, bro. That is it. That felt great. That was a phenomenal episode. But my episode of the week is the Apothecary Diaries. Oh my god. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. I was struggling to pick it only because I just felt like, you know, Frieren has so much in the episode, just the dialogue.
God. Yeah.
But Apothecary Diaries, it was the way they, and I'm not saying like Frieren don't handle backstory well, because obviously Frieren handles backstory well. They did it so well in this episode. But Apothecary Diaries, the way they tackled this whole thing, and it's like they prefaced it with the conversation we had about 2 episodes ago with the guy wanting to buy out the courtesan, and then we get to this episode, and they gave us a break with an episode in between, and we get to this episode, and it's like, yo, this is good. Yeah, Apothecary Diaries is crazy, man.
It's so, again, I say this a lot, but it's so sad that it came out the same year as Frieren. Because if this was 2022, this could have been episode like anime of the year. Like it's that good. Like it's so good. What I do love, and this is a slight spoiler, it's not even that big of a deal, honestly, about Apothecary Diaries, but the way they tackle face blindness is dope as fuck, because face blindness is a real thing. I think Brad Pitt has it, but it's a real thing that people suffer from. They can't distinguish faces at all from different people, and the way they talked about it and discussed it and managed that throughout an anime, I'm like, man, this is why I watch it. This is why I fucking love anime with
that was Odd Taxi.
Well, yes, with an established world, with it, like it's just beautiful, man. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. Oh my god, Odd Taxi's so good too.
I'm like I said, it was just so hard to not choose Apothecary Diaries, even though I know we try and normally stray away from choosing previous.
Yeah,
but like Classroom Elite, it was also another one. It was so hard to choose, bro. It was so hard to not choose. I mean,
and the reason why I was able to choose is because this week's episode is us talking about basically the wrap of the winter anime. And I mean, before we get into that, we got to go to the first season of the show you watched. But what an incredible winter!
Oh man,
we're gonna talk about that here shortly. But before we get into the winter wrap up, but obviously we're not going to spoil anything of the winter shows. Obviously, this episode, we're just going to discuss our overall thoughts on them all before next week's episode. But how are you feeling about the first season of Love Don't Cost a Thing?
Man, so first of all, Nick Cannon is garbage in this show. I don't like Nick Cannon in Love Don't Cost a Thing. He didn't become good until the end. But this show, bottom tier character Tomazaki huh?
You really brought Nick Cannon into this. He took it straight for no reason.
No, I don't mind Nick Cannon the person. It's the
I know.
It's the movie. The acting was horrendous. He ain't a good actor. He ain't a good rapper. But he definitely is a good businessman because he got millions. But hear me out. We talking about anime here.
Oh my god.
Bottom tier character. I completely understand why you call it Love Don't Cost a Thing. Because it is literally the anime of that. It's crazy. I find this really enjoyable. And there were several moments where I actually found myself laughing. And there were moments when I hated our main character. I was like, bro, come on, man. Like, I get the video game life, but it ain't got to be a complete comparison. But I get the drawn comparisons. You know what I mean? It's like, it all makes sense. None of this is like, I don't feel like none of it is miscalculated, if that makes sense.
100%.
And they even get to the nitty gritty about that towards the end, where these characters' personality types are really more about like they set a goal and they just go to achieve it. And I relate a lot to just this anime and how it goes in general. Not how hard it is to build friendships and relationships and stuff like that, but the goal setting where you set a goal and you just go and achieve it. And it's about the analyzing of everything. And it's a really good show. I do, and hear me out, I finished it on Tuesday. So I definitely could have caught up with season 2.
Oh, that hurts me so much because that's what we're going to talk about.
I know, but hear me out. Phenomenal show, and towards the end, and I'm trying to do this without so much of a spoiler. Yeah. But I kind of like the flip towards the end. And it's not like the Love Don't Cost a Thing flip, you know what I mean? It ain't that flip, but there's a very solid flip that comes at the end of season 1, where it's not necessarily the roles reversed, but more of a group effort, or an agreed upon effort. So I love how this is looking and turned out. It's crazy. It was really good. And then you start to actually enjoy. I mean, there's no characters in this to dislike
yet.
Yeah, and I mean reasonably so. They had to establish, and I feel like this happens a lot with Slice of Life, is that they establish that first season with they don't give you really much to hate to begin with, and if they do, there's a very stern and good reason for it, right? That's going to be a focal point issue. But here, I love how they didn't really give you much to hate in the beginning, just more like understanding. And I feel like season 2, I can see what, and I don't even know what it is we're gonna hate, but whatever they introduce in season 2 that'll make us hate anything, I'm just like, I'm ready for it. Because I'm ready for this to get messy. This definitely seems like it can get messy in a heartbeat.
It can. It takes you to different points to where you're like, almost like you're watching reality TV as in season 2. Reality TV, but in a way that it's very anime file, right? Like it's not the stupidity of reality TV.
Yeah, but it's like, reality TV in the most real way, in a sense, for like an anime, I guess.
Yes, because it's like you start to think like, do I like her? Do I hate her? Is she this? Is she that? Or is he this? Or is he that? What is this? Why is that? Like it gives you, in this entire season, we've been doing it all in, like we obviously have spoiler tags inside of our Discord for Anime Talk, but in our #Anime Talk channel, we talk about Tomozaki and we literally speculate on these things that are like that are so deep within the rabbit holes of this season 2 that is so fucking just mind blowing. Yeah, it's captivating. It's truly captivating to the point where you're like, fuck, I don't know what I like anymore, or who I like anymore, or what is going on, or why it's going on.
That sounds like quintessential quintuplet.
No. Yeah, no, okay. I can kind of see it, yeah. But it's because like what you said perfectly describes what's going on, and it's the role reversal. I'm not gonna say any more than that because neither you nor most people watch season 2 yet. But season 2 of Bottom Tier Character, that is probably at its core in a lot of ways, because of how the self-analyzing is and the analyzing of other people and shit like that. Like it's very prominent within this second season, and I wish.
And that's what I related with the most, though. You know what I mean? And I related to it on the base level here, because I know my mentality and introspection is very like, why did this person do this specific thing? So how do you figure that out? And I know that's just how my mind works. I'm watching this, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I rock with this. And even like I said, I would have never done this myself, but I can imagine being nervous and having to do this, because when I first got my first job, my aunts and my mom grilled me for hours on how to do an interview. So I get that philosophical part, but I'm saying like writing down conversation pieces, I was like, bro, that's too much work. But I get it if you've never been introduced to that lifestyle of having 100%. Just regular conversations. So you had to prep yourself. It's just like with anything else that you've never done before. It's probably better to have a little bit of an idea as to how to do it, so that when you get to a certain point where you're saying like, okay, well, that didn't feel natural. How do I make that feel more natural?
Exactly.
And it's that developmental piece in throughout the story. Like there was really development, but they didn't push it on your face like say boom, development. It was just more like you're watching as things unfold. Yeah, and it felt exactly like that, natural. And then even like I said at the end, the role reversal felt natural. It felt like this is the point we're coming to. This is the culmination of things.
And 2 days will be the finale of. Oh, no, it's 13 episodes this season. Okay, we got 2 episodes left. Thank goodness.
There you go. I'll be done with it before then. I'll be caught up on Tuesday.
Damn. We're gonna have to bring that the show after, because
how about since we did say we were gonna do this, or was there something else we're gonna review? How about we review season 2?
Okay.
Because we can do a live episode next week. The week after that, we do the Mic Check Waifu. Love Don't Cost a Thing season 2 review.
Okay, we'll do that. So 247 will be the review of Love Don't Cost a Thing season 2. Perfect. Love it. All right, so now to move on to the winter side of things, bro. Winter is done. Essentially, we got one episode left of pretty much everything, minus Solo 11, which had that half episode. And shows that are about 13 episodes deep are going to be 2 weeks behind. But next week is pretty much the wrap of the season, man. Overall thoughts, general consensus of what the winner was for Montel. What do you think, bro?
The winner is both my sadness and my happiness. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro, because hear me out.
He about to elaborate, and I already know where you go.
Hear me out. It's my happiness because there was a lot of heat in here, bro. Mm-hmm. It was a whole lot of heat, man. It was cooking. It was crazy. It was actually way better than I expected. So yeah, I definitely say it was like a lot of this was so enjoyable to watch. But it was my sadness because I'm literally sitting here before you got on, and I was on a little early before Polo got on. I'm sitting here looking at this, and y'all going to have to tune into the video version. I have this ReZero game, and it has this art book. I have been literally itching to rewatch ReZero, bro. I want to watch it so bad, but we need a mid-season. we need a bad season. We need a season with not a lot to watch, bro. And this season did not give us that.
No.
It gave us a solid, I'm going to say it gave us at least 12 solid animes to watch. And then like 6 or 8 to just catch up on. If not more than that. Because I'm looking at 30 anime on my screen right now that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them I'm not caught up on. You know what I mean? So it's like there was just so many good shows to watch that felt good, like Seventh Time Loop. Your Sleeper was fire. I just finished the Strongest Tanks Labyrinth Raid, like that anime. Another, as O will say again, high quality mid. Dangers in My Heart. Oh my god, that episode too. Yeah, man.
Episode of the week
quality there too. So many good anime this week. Ragnar Crimson is starting to come to a nice head and finale. So yeah, it was very happy, but it's like, bro, there's so many things I would like to get. I want to do a rewatch so bad, but I can't. It's too good.
Yeah, and that goes for me as well. Like I planned on finish the Monogatari series. I'm like, okay, if winter ain't gonna be that big, I'm gonna finish the Monogatari series. I'm gonna finish everything that's in my anime in progress. Not a chance in fucking hell was I gonna be able to do that. not even close. Because I mean, honestly, the shows that we thought were going to be terrible, and I know you feel like some of them were for you, like, you know, Chain Soldiers you didn't like, and Tales of Wonder Rings.
I'm just gonna binge it towards the end. That's all.
And when I say to touch on that one in particular, Chain Soldiers came to a head that's like, oh shit. It was actually a really good fucking episode. Like,
I knew it.
Now we get into what this is about, and it's like actually kind of wild. So I'm liking it. Even though I would not recommend it for everybody or anybody, to be honest. Like, there's shows I can do that for, right, easily enough this winter. And Chain Soldiers is not one I would recommend to anybody. Along with Tales of the Wedding Rings, Tales of the Wedding Ring also came to a situation where it's like, oh, that's fucked type shit. And it's like, again, not bad, but it's not great. I can't say, yeah, go watch that now, because I can't put my step on approval of that because it's just within my taste.
Right.
But
even though both of those are not like, I wouldn't even say they're bad. I just know for me, I just rather finish them. I want to watch them, binge them towards the end and get it out the way. But it's like Chain Soldier, especially for the meathead side of me, I thought that was actually pretty solid. Like when we get into the fight and we get to, I'm cool with that. And even Tales of Wedding Rings, I just think that Tales of Wedding Ring just needed, if it needed a little bit more quality animation and the MC to be a little bit more decisive. a little bit more, just like a little bit more. But other than that, both of those shows that I personally felt like were okay. Mm-hmm. That's all. They weren't like shows I would even say turn them on and watch them. Tales of Wedding Rings was definitely one I would say watch. Chain Soldier, you gotta be ready for that one a little bit more.
Yeah,
you gotta be a little bit more ready for that one.
I feel like it's flipped for me. I think you need to be a little bit more for Tales of Wedding Rings because it's not much there. Even though, again, the last 2 episodes are finally seem like it's about to get to where, oh shit, and he's finally becoming what you said. Your issue is he finally is decisive. Like it's there now, but it's the second to last episode. It's like too late, bro. You're too late. But
that development is still important.
It's very important that it's there. Period. Now, again, same with you. You mentioned the strongest tank in the labyrinth. That one is also one that I cannot recommend to everybody, but I do enjoy watching it.
Very much so. It's
a very Tell and Polo anime where we just turn it on and kind of turn our brains off and kind of enjoy where it goes. It's not a great show, but that in those 3, I would say, are probably the only 3 within this entire winter anime season that is anything less than stellar.
Because Weakest Tamer is fire.
Weakest Tamer is incredible, actually. Like it one of the best shows this season, to be honest.
The Signs of Affection has been on one. They have been on one, bro.
Another one of the best. Signs of Affection was incredible. It made me a fan of this new genre of shoujo. Like I'm a fan of this shit now. Like I'm seeking them out now to see all the ones I missed. Crystal still ain't giving me any more recommendations yet. I'm still waiting for Dad needs to talk and Crystal to hit up their list and let me know what shoujo I should check out. But okay, those are great. But the biggest surprise to me still to this day,
here we go,
the best show this winter for me personally, and that's 7 Time Loop. And again, another episode that could have been episode of the week because what the fuck is going on? There's a lot happening in that episode that I'm like, yo, this is getting wild. But truthfully, the biggest surprise for me was 7 Time Loop. One of the, I can't put it into words how shocked I am that this is actually as good as it is because I was expecting it to be probably somewhere around below average, like a 60 to 65% type anime. But it's, for me personally, it's about an 8.9.
Yeah, the show is, and I say this with like because I remember my review of the first episode because I knew the first episode I was like, I don't think you're gonna like this, but I feel like it's going somewhere. I just don't know where it's going yet. It's basically, I think, more or less kind of how I phrased it because I was uncertain as to what I was even watching at that first episode.
Moment 1 I was in.
Yeah. But it's like it took off, bro. There's so much like, and there was that conversation she had where, and slight spoiler, but not trying to go into spoilers. Even if she got cast away, she's gonna come back as this, come back as this, come back as this, and it's a fact because she done did it each time. But this is just crazy how she meant it, and I know she meant it, and to me that means so much in context of what the story is. That the characters, that you believe that the character means something.
I mean, and even from where we started, right? Like, even from where we started, how it is developing into something else is very interesting, very intriguing story.
And just to touch on one other thing, right? Because obviously, 7 Time Loop is amazing. Metallic Rouge, which I've been keeping up with.
Okay.
The show is actual dog water.
No.
And the only thing that makes it worth watching is every character but the main character. I promise you. Still. Every character but the main character. There was basically no action in this episode, which was perfectly fine. It was all contextual, like talking about how, and slight spoilers, talking about how some of these artificial humans have families and lives and there's backstory, and that's all this entire episode was. And I actually really enjoyed that until we got the MC giving her little input on stuff. It was like, bro, just go away. just go away. And people might like her, but I actually just wish that it was week to week stories, random stories, bro. I literally can't lie to you. I wish it was a week to week story about what's going on
in the world itself instead of
actually talking to the main
character. Yeah, a character that's supposed to be carrying, I should say.
Yeah, but not carrying in the slightest.
Right. I forgot to mention there are some other shows that we just completely fucking forgot about that deserves mention too, and one of them is another surprise, and that's Sasaki and Peeps.
Oh, phenomenal!
That is another phenomenal show. I can't believe I almost forgot about. And this belong in the tier above of Tales of Wedding Rings and stuff like that. But where I do think a show belongs with those two, Tales of Wedding Rings and Chained Shoulders, is also My Instant Death Ability is Overpowered. While I do think it's the better of the three, I still think it's not one I would recommend to any and everybody, right? Like there's a lot of nonsense that goes on in that show that's like whatever, but it's an enjoyable watch for, I think, Polo and Tail. If you know our acquired taste sometimes, where we can find these like very bottom of the barrel shows and just enjoy them.
And you just hear me out real quick, because I know this is not going to make a lot of sense to people, but it makes sense to me in a context. I put My Instant Death Ability next to kind of like what is it called? God, it was such a peaceful one that finished last season too. Sheesh, it is. I can't even think about it. Saints, Magic Powers, Omnipotent. I kind of put it in that category, and I only say this not for like
though.
Yeah, I get that. That's not what I'm saying though. What I'm saying is like the Saints Magic Power is Omnipotent is when I can just turn on and you kind of relax. The Instant Death Ability, you kind of already know what you're getting yourself into. You know what I mean? So it's like you turn it on and you just kind of relax. And if something big happens, it happened. And that's kind of how I feel with Saints Magic Powers Omnipotence. When something big happened, like, oh my God, it happened, but the whole episode was still wholesome. It still had its same overall feel and direction.
No, it doesn't. What?
You don't think so? All right. We can disagree on that, but I'm gonna tell you,
my instant death ability is about a guy going around who can literally insta kill everything.
Yeah, but you know what you get into. So for me, it's peaceful.
All these students are getting murked. They're murking each other. Like, what?
It's an anime. I ain't tied to these characters. I don't even know the characters he killing names.
When you compare, you need to be comparing the Weakest Tamer to Omnipotent. Like that is a more of a correlation, right? Like that. From a peaceful show that you can sit back and enjoy, The Weakest Tamer is the perfect show for that. I think that's the perfect comparison to Omnipotent. But instant death ability is something you put in with like, what was that one? I think it was from last season, maybe, or 2 seasons ago, where it was this hero went to school with these other students, and it was like they were doing like weird. They were training to become the next hero, even though he was the actual hero. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, the strongest exorcist. No,
it was in the same season as that though, right?
I think so. Let me see. Let me go to the spring, or was it fall? It was fall. It was some bullshit though. It was not.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember.
Maybe it was.
He was hiding his name. It was the one that you really liked.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, it was a really light that wasn't good though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
Classroom for Heroes. That's what my instant death ability is like. Classroom for Heroes. It's a 60%, which is accurate as hell. But like that is the comparison.
I'm not going off a story, bro. I'm going off of how it make me feel. I ain't talking about the story like deep and stuff like that. Yeah, bro. Because I turn on my instant death ability and I turn my brain off and I relax. I chill. I know people about to die. That's all I care about. That's all it is. But I feel the same with Saints Magic Powers Omnipotent. I just know she was about to do something beautiful and amazing. I was gonna love every moment of it. Yeah, that's how I felt. But that's what I'm saying is soothing, though. I'm not saying that it's. I do think everybody should watch Saints Magic Powers Omnipotent, but I'm not saying everybody should watch My Instant Death Ability is Overpowered. But I do get the feeling of like when I turn it on, like I already have expectations as to what's going to happen, so I just chill, and it ensues in a sense.
So let's call it mindless then.
Yeah. That's how I feel. Mindless. I'm here to see it happen.
I could feel that for sure. All right, let me go back to my winner list here.
But Sasaki and Peeps, you're right, 100%. That is one that is, I feel like it ain't talked about enough, but also don't be around and looking.
Yeah, you're true. I think that is one we can wholeheartedly recommend. That is another one that I think is in the realm of
A Polo and Tail ass anime.
Yeah, but The Weakest Tamer, like a good show. Like it's just a good show. It's very. There's moments in that show I find myself laughing out loud. Like I can't say it because it'll be a spoiler. But.
So here, let me throw this one at you real quick. Polo don't ever text me about anime because we keep anime conversation. We keep anime conversation for the podcast.
Yo, that sounds fucking funny.
And you ain't gotta tell too much about it. But how do you feel about that delivery on Unwanted Undead Adventurer, bro?
Okay, so yeah, let's get into our sleepers, shall we? So Undead Unwanted Adventurer is Tail Sleeper, which is a great pick. Fantastic overall show. There was a moment in this episode, though, this most recent episode, where I thought that he was about to make the dumbest decision of all time. And Tail described it perfectly because it would have been unhinged if this man didn't choose this option that he had.
I swear.
He was going through this situation to where he gets to, I guess, slight spoilers, where he gets to pick a magic item, which is rare in this world. Like it's rare that you find a magic item in this world. So he's going through this house essentially to find a magic item that he gets to pick from. He gets to something that is very enticing for him to pick. Then it goes like when it essentially insinuates that he picks that particular item, and it goes to the next scene. When it goes to the next scene, it's a different item that is not even close to what he should have picked. And I'm like, yo, what the? I paused the fucking episode because I'm like, I'm turning this shit off. I'm done. This show went from great to whack in 2 seconds just for that. I text Tail like, I'm gonna go to exactly what I said because this shit was mad funny. Because I was. I said, I know you working, but Undead just pissed me off. And I was like heated, like legitimately mad. And then I pressed play on the video and it went like 3 seconds later. It was like, oh, I had to text him back. Never mind.
No, but hear me out, bro. Hear me out. I feel you.
I was so mad, bro. I was ready to turn this shit off and be done with it completely.
Because I did the same thing when I watched it. I paused that shit. I went to my text messages. I looked at my messages like I'm about to text Polo. And I said, nah, fuck that. Because he's not about to talk to me about my sleeper being ass, bro. He is not about to do that to me, right? Not this season. Not this season.
Oh my God.
So I just said, forget it. Forget it. I'm going to watch it. And I watched it through. I was like, okay. Oh, all right. Okay.
They had to do that shit on purpose. They had to do that on purpose because they knew it would have made people mad. Because I was pissed. Because to be honest,
and I knew instantly what made you mad.
Yeah, when it happened, it's like you could see with the way this character is, the way he's like kind of portrayed as this great guy, right? You could see him not choosing that in order to avoid repercussions of what that can possibly do to him after what they described, right? So I could see that happening. That's why it was believable. That's why I'm like, oh no, man, fuck this shit.
Because we like take the risk.
Yes, take the fucking risk. And we all for not, essentially, if you just watched the episode. It was hilarious though. What a funny moment. Because I literally, as soon as I pressed play after I sent that text message, I'm like, oh, never mind. Let me I just sent him a text, never mind. Because I was fucking mad, man. I was boiled, bro. I was so mad.
Yeah, bro. No lie, that got me too. So I feel you.
Overall, though, what a great show. Very interesting world. Great main character. I think my favorite part about it is the main character. Actually, all of the characters. I really love all of the characters throughout the entire show. And it's hard to do that. It's hard for me to like all the characters.
Yeah, all the characters that they've made important. They are enjoyable. They are likable. Mm-hmm. They did a good job of establishing that. So it's really cool because they didn't have to dump a ton of money into what seemed like other stuff because of that. The characters are just solid, and that's what's driving the show. And then they can dump a little few extra dollars when they do the super animated, divine, magical willpower attack. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness, what a great show. And then my sleeper, Hokkaido Girls. The problem with Hokkaido Girls is that it comes out on Monday. and that's always tough for us to discuss it because it's hard to remember. Because I watch it on Monday. I always watch it on Monday, the day it releases. So it comes out on Monday, so I tend to forget about that I watch it. But every time I watch it, I remember, oh, I love this show. Every single time. Again, another situation to where I think I mentioned this on the Wonder of Anime, but what's so great about Slice of Life and why I like it better than any shonen or anything like that is that the characters has to carry the entire show. Like you can't look at a Slice of Life and be like, oh, that plot is fantastic, right? Because it's not much of that, or the world is so enticing. It's just the world. It's just Earth. So it's nothing special about it. It has to be the characters that carry an entire show. And Hokkaido Girls is one of the shows where the characters carry the entire show. I know a lot of people will look at this and be like, because of the title is Hokkaido Girls Are Super Adorable. Because of that title, you're probably like, there's probably some ecchi kind of like harem that I'm not really interested in. It's nothing like that. Yeah. At all. It's the most wholesome, pleasant show between friends ever. With maybe some romance, maybe not. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? With the way it moves, but it's very, very, very likable show. I think if you're somebody who don't like ecchi harem, this is not what this is. So give Hokkaido Girls Are Super Adorable a chance, and I promise you won't be disappointed. It's a great show. This episode pissed my soul off a little bit, only because they got new classes. Oh my God, yeah, that was. And awesome. I was like, I just wanted one more person in that class, but I get why not. Wait, that person was never in that class to begin with. They were a whole grade above them. That's why. I know. Oh. But I was like, I wanted that still. You know what I mean? You wanted that dynamic. I see. I wanted that still. Yeah. So it was like, man, that would have been sweet. No, you're right. Amazing. It'd have been amazing. So it was still a great episode, but my heart just I was like, oh, I wanted that. I wanted it. Great choice though. It's not like you dropped the ball too many times on the sleeper anyway, but yeah, Hokkaido Gals has been another great watch. And I love how it's all about the communication in this show for me though. Oh my goodness. Because obviously the characters are all very likable, very interesting characters, but how they communicate the things that they feel and how the artists communicate how the characters feel to us as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because you don't have to say a lot. And like, even with like, the gamer girl, I can't remember her name right off the top of my head right now, but, how she reacts to certain things and how they demonstrate her. Yeah. How they demonstrate her putting her hand up and putting it back down. Like, but we know that come episode 2, episode 3, she didn't have that energy yet. She would have never done that. She would never even put her hand up to begin with, let alone put her hand up to even think to have to pull it down. So we got to that point in this anime, and it's like, it's been a nice ride, bro. That's what it was. A very nice ride. Very, very nice ride. I think you touched on the wrong way of using healing magic, but as your honorable mention, but that's another show that's fantastic. We got 2 episodes left of that one. I don't think that's going to go downhill. That's one, again, that is highly underrated that I think more people should watch because it's not what you think. It's not just your typical isekai where you can basically feel like you know exactly where it's going to go, because that's what it is with most isekais, right? Mm-hmm. It's one of the best shows this season, mostly because of the where it doesn't go, right? The fact that it's not predictable, the fact that it's like you got 3 characters that are extremely likable. Actually, again, another show with all the characters are likable. I can't even say 3. the 4 main characters for sure. Yes, 100%. Very, very likable. With a very nice interweaving backstory that expands this world a lot bigger than what they need to be honest. Yeah, they didn't have to do any of that. I agree. Yeah. They didn't have to, but the way they did it was still, it made it enjoyable. This is another one that is like, and like I said, I gave it honorable strictly off the fact that I don't think that people are watching it enough, but I do think that what I saw in terms of storyline, development wise, characterization, that episode that we just got from this, to me, it hit so many points that I wish that it was seen more, because it was like, bro,
y'all talking about Deku crying. This was worth it. This was worth all the moments that we got built up to this. This felt great. So yeah, I was like, that was a phenomenal episode for me, just as a moment. But Danger's in My Heart, season 2.
Moving on, I was just about to go. Moving on to season 2's, the continuation shows. Again, we talked about Classroom of the Elite, that being my sleeper. It's schmoovin'. It's schmoovin' very, very well. I love it. Classroom of the Elite is one of my favorite shows. But Danger's in My Heart, again, this has the potential of being top 5 slice of life for me. I say it every time we talk about this show, but it's that good.
Yeah, bro.
Truly that good.
Oh my God.
I hope we got to get more because they're only in middle school too. Sorry.
To me, and look, I know this ain't gonna make sense to you, but I had to rewind it because I'm watching it and I'm hearing the rain, and you know I got the surround sound, so it felt like it felt like I was really hearing rain. I had to stop it. Is it raining outside? I paused and the rain stopped.
Yeah, but
you know I already had a tornado, so I'm already a little wary about it. But it felt like I was so in the show, bro, that the rain, I completely forgot to realize that it was raining in the show. Yeah. I know the rain is a main aspect of what I'm watching right now, but I'm so tuned in to the words that are being said right now that it was like, nah.
That battle was fire, by the way.
It was crazy,
it was
bro.
So fire.
It was so good. And it was like, it made me love both of those characters. Because, yeah, bro.
Because, truly, at first, I didn't like his friend at all.
At all.
At all. So, more. A show that, I still find to be, what show you could have compared? No, because this show is way better than My Instant Death Ability. But Delicious in Dungeon is so good. Another episode that could have been episode of the week this week, by the way.
Man.
Talking about beautiful, too. Gorgeous episode.
It is definitely beautiful. They had oh man, the way it's more about, for me, Delicious in Dungeon draws me in because of their descriptive abilities. Mm-hmm. It has like all the great description of like Shokugeki no Soma, but like it's not just the food, but about the lives of the dungeons and how these things interact. So it's like they're describing the world, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And we love world building so much, but it's about how they're describing how these things live and interact in the world, and then they describe how they're cooking things, and it's like, yeah, bro, this shit is crazy, bro. The sword thing to me is still like one of my favorite things because it makes sense how the sword interacts every single time to something. It's like, that makes sense.
And then not only that, I love when shows, when because you don't have to, even to build your world, you don't have to over explain. Kind of like one of the shows doing that's new this season. That's fucking that Ninja Terrible show, but
it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Terrible.
Oh my gosh, a Mecha Kamui. But no, it's what's so good about it is it doesn't over explain everything, right? What you said is they do give the descriptive detail, but what I like about it is that like the fact that adventurers can go in this dungeon and just die and then just come back to life. It's not something that's like surprising or shocking to necessarily see a party die and then come back, or the body retrievers to retrieve a body. Like they didn't over explain that. It just kind of gradually gave us the information over time, which what's crazy is that this is a 24 episode show. I feel like next week should be the end.
I do though, right? And with the way that this last season is revealed, I didn't even know you were still keeping up with Delicious in Dungeon, but it's been a pleasure as well.
It's a good show.
I agree. I also thought that it felt like this is a climactic ending, like what we just got, and the cliffhanger didn't even feel like a bad cliffhanger, even though it ended on one of those like kind of moments, like you're taking that deep breath. Like, dang, that's crazy. So it feels like the next episode should be prepping us for season 2, but the way that I didn't realize that. I didn't realize it was, man.
Yep. So after this, we got 12 more, which is going to run into the spring season, which is going to make it fucking harder for us to try to catch up on stuff. This spring season is probably going to be crazy. Make sure you tune in next week to that. Man, and I I think we're gonna talk about this in spoiler talk, but Frieren is wrapping up next week. So is Apothecary Diaries. So heartbreaking. There's still 2 more episodes for Ragnar Crimson, so those shows that carried over from fall are going into finishing the last few episodes of these 3 shows in particular, which are all 3 of them are great. Even Ragnar Crimson, which is not up the level of Apothecary Diaries and not of the level of Frieren, is still a good show. Very interesting show. A lot going on there, by the way.
Yeah.
But no, those are wrapping next week. I think we're going to spoil Apothecary Diaries and Frieren in the second half of the show.
For sure. Easily.
What else do you think we should bring?
If I'm being completely honest, I don't think we should necessarily bring anything else. I think those 2, because everything else is basically from this season.
Yeah.
And those 2 are going to be the most, I feel like, most important to talk about this season.
And before we go to break, though, last 2 episodes shows I want to talk about that's going great so far, and it's also going into next season is Moonlit Fantasy. Moonlit Fantasy is season 2. It's continuing. It was fantastic. I haven't been able to talk about it enough because, again, it's another show that comes out on Mondays, so it's hard for me to remember to bring it up. But another great episode, another great show. I'm looking forward to seeing where that's going. And it also has 25 episodes this season, which doesn't feel like it. It feels like he can have 2 more episodes and be good, but I digress. And then the Banished From a Hero's Party. Season 2. That one was that could have been episode of the week this week too.
It was a heat week basically.
Next week is about to go crazy with that episode, so I'm looking forward to that. But I wanted to make sure we mentioned those before we moved on to the break. But we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to spoil episode 27 of Frieren.
Oh my goodness.
And episode 23 of Apothecary Diaries. We'll be right back after these. and welcome black to episode 245. I might check waifu. It's 5, right? How did I forget that fast? 245. This is a sad day. You can feel the dread in our Discord too, by the way, where people was like, I know Saphir like, man, it's gonna be a sad day when these two end, but coming to an end are two of the greatest shows to ever grace a year, to be honest. Like, man, it's hard. It's hard to think about anything top of these two for like the rest for the rest of our careers doing this fucking podcast.
But hear me out. We definitely kind of felt similar about 86.
That's true.
If we being real. And 86 was shit, damn near perfect. The only thing that was imperfect about it is the release schedule, which we also get that. But yes, Frieren and Apothecary Diaries, it's gonna be a hard hit to the week, man. That's like I want to almost like savor this final episode from both of them.
Let me say this, if you would allow me, a little mini polo rant. It's not gonna be a lot. I just want to say there is no excuse. Now, I don't know how. Let me just say this. I don't know how overworked or if they're struggling to continue this production of what they're doing with Frieren, so I can't necessarily speak for Madhouse. But I haven't seen any complaints. I haven't seen any articles. I haven't seen any complaints about what they're doing and how they're working. And if anybody at Madhouse Studio listens to this podcast that speaks English, let me know how your working conditions are. But I will say this: for me, I feel like because Madhouse is working on the Overlord movie and Frieren, there is no excuse for any anime to have terrible pacing, terrible characters, terrible stories, terrible worlds. 28 episodes, full course, no breaks. I guess it was a break for like New Year's or whatever it was, but that was it. Like no
back fire,
no breaks. All 10 out of 10 episodes. Perfect episodes. Nothing wrong with any of them. Okay? There's no excuse for no other studio not to be capable of doing the same thing. You just have to find that quality story that you can adapt respectfully. Obviously, like they did with Frieren. I'm sure there's some shit that's cut out or missing or whatever the case may be, but it doesn't matter because you don't feel it. It feels perfect. This is the most beautiful 28 episodes, 24 episodes, 22, whatever you want to call it, season of anime I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I think I only felt this way with ReZero. Only ReZero had me this emotionally invested or captivated week to week or impressed with animation week to week. I don't think no other show's ever done this before. It's that spectacular. So to me personally, there's no excuse for any other studios to just stop, take a break, relax, and just focus on one thing at a time. While Madhouse is also, again, focusing on the Overlord movie. We don't know when that's coming out. It's a movie. It's not being rushed. No episodes of Frieren felt rushed or undone or unfinished. And they look spectacular. So, like, what is the excuse? You know? There is none.
I mean,
they set the bar.
You really didn't leave me much or anything to say.
Sorry about that. They really did set the bar though for anime in general. Like it's amazing.
It's actually insane. And I agree with everything Polo said. And it's like I can get things like stylistic choices, I guess, if that makes sense. Yeah. I can get stylistic choices. But that's not what we complain about here. We don't complain specifically about stylistic choices. It's about consistency. It's about everything. And we're talking about both Frieren and Apothecary Diaries. There's no way they're handing us, like, delivering us this consistent quality, and other people can't do it. I can understand talents, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, you may not be as talented.
Right.
I can get that. But I won't even lie to you. I'd be cool with taking an episode every other week if it was higher quality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I could be guaranteed a higher quality.
Just to put it in perspective, by the way, Toho is a brand new animation studio.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what they've done?
What they've done?
They have done a Frieren short and the Apothecary Diaries. No wonder. They seem to be a support studio.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, man.
So they really said, hey, look, we know Apothecary Diaries is gonna be cooking, so come cook over here too.
Let me rewind it back a little bit. Toho is a support studio for Apothecary Diaries, but the main studio seems to be OLM. Mm-hmm. OLM did Don't Toy With Me Nagatoro and Komi Can't Communicate. So they've done some quality shit. So, but
it also means it stands to argue the fact that these teams have a quality inspection somewhere. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, yeah. This no wonder these motherfuckers are polished. They got a lot of polished shit. Pokemon Journeys, the series.
And that was one of the better Pokemon seasons.
I don't even now know that. They've done some shit actually. So OLM and then Toho are two studio. Komi Can't Communicate season 1, Restaurant in Another World. That's another great show. Like I said, Odd Taxi. Another Pokemon, Distant Blue Sky. I heard that was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen all of them.
They did Summertime Rendering.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, there it is.
So yeah, which is also another masterpiece.
Yep.
So hold on, let me not take away everything that Polo said, because we literally comparing a goat apparently to itself.
That explains why Apothecary Diaries is so spectacular.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay, so let's actually talk about Frieren.
Okay, Frieren is the first thing we're spoiling in episode 27. Sorry.
we sit here talking about both of the shows in tandem.
Yeah. Hard not to.
But Frieren, right?
Mm-hmm.
The test is over.
Oh my goodness! And what a great conversation between her and Fern about what she. No. What a great conversation between her and Siri about her not passing her. Like Frieren already knew what the deal was. Frieren knew she was just basically wasting her time only because Siri does not gel with her way of thinking.
Right.
It's just like she's disappointed in her lack of effort for being as powerful as she is.
And the show, like we constantly say, is a masterclass in how they direct things, right?
Oh my God. Yeah.
We've been talking about the last 2 or 3 episodes about visualizing magic, visualizing your life, right?
Yep.
And we also talked about how Siri's instincts are never wrong. Frieren, no matter how strong she is, she cannot visualize Siri ever passing her. She can't visualize it. Mm-hmm. Therefore, Siri's instincts say you can't be a first class mage. You can't even see me passing you.
Yep. And
you're right. Their mentalities don't gel. And Frieren knows this, Siri knows this. And we also know that Frieren herself doesn't specifically need this. Frieren's already recognized as what she is.
The greatest of all time, yeah.
Right? But it's the way that they foreshadow, and they don't even foreshadow in the sense of letting you know it's foreshadowing. They gave you the details before we got here. And then they just made the details relevant. And it's like, whoever wrote this story, they went to the front, they wrote it. They finished it, went to the back and said, okay, do all this make sense? Went back to the front. And it's like, how do they fact check themselves? It's crazy. But yeah, and this conversation between Siri and Fern. Obviously Fern, and it's what Frieren left with, that she's going to impress you. She's going to exceed your expectations.
Holy shit.
And that's what Fern does. She did it to Frieren, and she did it to Siri too. And they even, it was crazy because they even, before they got to that point, Siri's talking to her protege, saying, I wish
Oh
I
my
never
God, that was
took a
so good.
human. I never took a human because they don't have enough time. They can never succeed at this. Fern, not even an adult yet, got it. Built different.
And what he's referring to is being able to see the mana channeling, the fluctuation of her mana. And
Yeah.
what's interesting is that Fern was shocked that she saw it, but don't see it in Fern, which proves to her that, wow, you're supposed to be this all powerful, but I can see the fluctuations in your mana, but I can't see it in Frieren's, which is very, very, very intriguing. And again, the fact that Frieren knew that she was going to impress this lady, and she was like, yeah, like, become my student. I can treat you better. I can teach you anything you want to know. Blah, 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 blah. She's like, nah, I'm good. I'm Miss Frieren's student.
Right, though.
So good, man. So good.
The beauty in it is that, like, throughout, Frieren has only trained Fern in the beginning.
Yes.
As things have progressed, she has not trained her anymore. She kind of just lets Fern do whatever.
Yep.
Like, Fern can make decisions for herself. Yeah, little lessons, little tips here and there. And that's what makes it so crazy is that I can imagine Siri is like a fucking drill instructor.
Drilling her with knowledge that
constantly. And it's like you gotta take a break after a little bit, bro. Like, but it's
you know what I love that they talk
all these
about?
characters are so dynamic and unique that it's amazing. But go ahead. I'm sorry, brother.
You know what I like that what they talk about all the time? Well, what Frieren specifically talks about is
What's that?
how magic is just fun.
Yeah.
She doesn't use all the spells in her arsenal. Her favorite spell is the one that can create a field of flowers because of the significance it has with somebody who she feels she's close to. She may not know it. She may not know it or know what it is yet, but it's love. She loved Himmel, you know?
Yep.
So it's like the fact that gives her, like, that brings her so much happiness. That's her favorite spell. And this woman has probably hundreds of spells in her arsenal that she just don't give a fuck about. It's like, for example, for hundreds of years, she's been just collecting grimoires. So, like, come on, man. Like, she's just leagues above not only the what they consider the strongest top mage of all time, but she leagues above everybody.
Everybody.
It's so good.
And if you think about it, let's think about it this way. If that's all she was doing in between the time that she was no longer with Flam, she had been away from Flam for over 1,000 years.
Yep.
Imagine if she collected one spell a year.
Yeah, true.
That's one spell a year.
That's insane.
And it's like she would literally have a damn near the same arsenal as Siri.
Yep.
But the importance is that how they utilize it.
Yep.
Siri is just sitting on the knowledge. Siri is constantly cultivating, but like, what means, to what end? We knew what Frieren's means and end were, but she continued on what her previous goal was after she was finished with the hero's party. And it's beautiful to see that even after seeing Himmel as a kid, they always talk about how emotionless she is, how she doesn't pay attention to emotion. Himmel was a child. He was lost and alone, and he was trying to do something specific. And Frieren is like, well, that's where you need to go. She didn't say nothing. She saw in his face that he's worried, he's scared. So she creates this beautiful field of flowers.
Yep.
This spell that she learned from Flam. To me,
and
she set up the whole destiny for this on accident.
And what's crazy is that they showed us the conversation between her and Flam when she learned this spell. And when she learned this spell way like fucking 15 episodes ago, which is so crazy, man. So crazy. Again, what this show does is it drops seedlings in episodes that you don't even realize we're referencing back to until you get 10, 15 episodes ahead. As you said before, and I feel like the creator of Overlord did the same thing. You create the world first, you set the rules in the world and after, then you talk about the story, the characters, and what their goal is. If you do that, I think you can be successful in just about any realm of storytelling, because like you have everything, and then you could just put the characters to be up to that level or down to that level or in between that level. Like, you could do so much with that knowledge that I just don't understand how whoever is this talented. And I like to go to the staff to figure it out. Yamada.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever this Yamada-san is, man, like, you did your fucking thing. And again, this is like the only thing that they wrote.
And they wrote it with all their heart and soul, I swear.
Yeah, it's only Frieren, and then they were on the staff of other show. No, it's all Frieren basically. It's fucking insane. It's insane. It's talent, man. It's beautiful. I'm blown away. Gut check, man. What's happening this last episode? Where are we going? What are we doing? How is it going to all culminate into this finale, this end of Frieren's journey?
I'm gonna turn it on. I'm gonna start crying,
man.
I think, I'm not sure, and I only say this because we know that they were heading to essentially the forest with the graveyard so they could talk to the people who had already passed, right?
The Journey's End, yeah. I think they call it the Journey's End.
The issue is, I'm not sure if we're gonna make it.
What's crazy is that we're only halfway there.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like we're not gonna make it. So we get the season 2 announcement. But I feel like we get a better rekindling with Stark.
Let me rephrase the question. Let me give you a little bit of direction here.
Cause I don't know, bro. This is crazy.
Yeah. Do you think anybody else has passed this test?
Maybe what's his name? Dinkin?
Yep.
I think Dinkin could do it, and I think because he sees himself, I could definitely see him saying like, I see myself as this before I die, something like that. And I feel like that's something that Siri would have to recognize. And if anything, worst case scenario, he's like just uncertain of like, not if he's qualified, but what the outcome of what Siri's thinking is, and not more about his actual talent and what he deserved. Because I feel like thinking from the beginning, it was like, we gonna work for this, and he worked. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Literally, physically, and magically. Yep. So I feel like he's got it. He's gonna be one of the only one after Fern. So I think him and Fern are gonna be. Well, him, Fern, and the Cutter girl.
Ubel. It's funny because like, Siri is like, they all passed because of Frieren. So it's like, she fucked up this test basically. Like, if it wasn't for her, 90% of these people will be dead and gone. But I do think I'm with you. I think Ubel and Dinkin is probably going to be the only two that makes it, but everybody else, she's basically failed, and it's mostly because of, like you said, their intuition, or her intuition being so powerful. Like, she's never wrong about these people that she chooses. So I don't think she's going to pass Ubel, but I do think Dinkin is going to make it.
Yeah.
I do think Ubel is going to do something stupid though. Well,
and the only reason I think that she'll pass Ubel is because she is.
You could be right.
I think what the intuition is like not necessarily what you are right now, but what you can become,
or what you want to become.
Right. So I think
if
that
you're steadfast on that.
Right. I think they can see it. So it's like I feel like those are the only ones who can see it. And Fern, I don't even think it mattered if she could see it or not. It was what she was already capable of.
I see.
So it was the exceeding of expectations there. But I think Dinkin and like Ubel, they have that like, they know about visualization. You know what I mean? They're the only ones who have spoken about it other than Frieren. So it's like I feel like this is that point to where it's like, yeah, they'll make it, but everybody else I feel like it's not gonna make it.
Interesting. Yeah. I love this show, man. I'm sad it's ending next week. I don't know how long we're gonna have to wait. It's probably gonna be like a year, 2 years, which is gonna suck. Maybe we get a movie.
Give us a year and do us like Jobs Reincarnation did.
Please do, bro. Yeah. Do us all we need. Even if you gotta split it in the cores, man, I don't care. I'll wait. It's okay.
I swear.
Okay. This is one of the shows you want to be a fucking 100 episodes. It's just crazy to even think about.
I swear.
Because I don't even think that for anything.
Ever, bro. Ever. I don't ever think that, but I do 100%. I wish that there was 100 episodes of this and it was like that, and that's the saddest part is that it's literally one of those shows that it's a comfort and I'm gonna be salty. It's gone, bro.
Yep.
I don't have this every week.
Yep.
Are we serious?
For 27 weeks, we've talked about how great this show is. Perfect episodes every single week. All right, Apothecary Diaries again. One of the best shows ever. This is probably gonna hit my top 10.
Yeah.
Truly special. So she had the chess game with her Faja.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, again, like I talked about earlier, they discussed the whole face blindness backstory beautifully, and then the way he met her mother was wonderful. We finally know what's going on with her and why it ended up as what it is, even though we don't know the exact disease that she's going through now, which I think is syphilis, right? I think it's syphilis.
It's
like an advanced syphilis.
It looks like something like that, and I think that the implication was the street. She had to take street customers. Yep. Because of her devaluing herself by getting pregnant. But world and storytelling is wonderful in this fucking show. And this show for me is the show that does the best backstories and like flashbacks. Well, Frieren is right there and they do. Yeah, I'm not, but we already understand that Frieren is clearly there as well. I'm saying that this show is one of those shows that when they do the backstory, it's spectacular. It's basically unparalleled. Yeah. Because it feels like everything they gave us was important. And it wasn't like specifically the details that was important. It was like the actual emotion that was there was important. Mm-hmm. They handled it so well. Even with how Frieren acts with him or treats her father. The way that she attempted the game even was genius because it was like, she know he can't. It was all tricks. Yeah. It was all tricks, and she wasn't lying about it being poison. It was liquor. Liquor is literally poison. And then it's just hard liquor with some spirits in it. Now you're getting extra drunk. He never drinks alcohol. It's literally just fruit juice. And he drinks one drink, and now he faded. And she said, if you just fade. If it's like she mentioned that rule as the last little piece of tidbit in the rules when she was setting up. She's like, okay, yeah, let's start. But there's one final rule. If any one of us can't continue because of this poison or whatever the case may be, then you have to forfeit, which means the other person wins. Mm-hmm. And she knew she wasn't going to beat him in chess, but what she did was diabolically genius. Because that's what she is. She's a genius. And it makes sense because of who her mother and her father is now. Mm-hmm. Why the fuck she's so smart, which is spectacular. IQ is through the roof. Yes. I love the fact that she used the red nails to like kind of draw his attention first and foremost because of something that he was used to with her mother. But I also can't wait to see what's next because I need to know why she hates him so much. Why it is just this distaste, these eyes that she gives, this look that she gives Jensen whenever he mentioned him, or how she just didn't want to be around him. I need to know that backstory piece, and hopefully we can get that next episode because from the flashes of what we're getting, it seemed like it was a bunch of like maybe they just didn't want to spoil what was going to happen, but it seemed like it was just a bunch of flashes of what happened throughout the season. Yeah. And not necessarily what's continuing on. So
I'm kind of curious as to see what happens next.
Well, she said something about making him buy out a courtesan, but it was from her place, right?
Right, which is probably her mother, right?
But do we know if she ever? Do we know if she ever actually got to be with her mother? Because she was with a guy who not really her father.
Yeah, she was always go up and clean and take care of her and wrap her bandages and stuff. Yeah, she took care of her mother.
Yeah. I'm remembering that.
The problem is her mother just doesn't have her mind there, and oh my god, again they did it what Frieren does so well too, but it makes sense as to why the mother would always be playing with black and white stones on while she was singing, even though her mind is gone.
Yeah.
She's sitting there playing these black and white stones, and they kind of gave us that backstory. And this show is brilliant, man. It's so brilliant. Do you feel like it's gonna be some romance between Jinsun and Mao Mao?
I hope so. I like them together.
Yeah, that's the name of the last episode. So hopefully it's some romance brewing.
I want to get more details about who he actually is, though. You know what I mean?
Yes, we still haven't even.
And I feel like that is something that, as viewers, we deserve. So I can officially crown this anime ranked number 2 of the year.
I mean, easily. I think one of these days we should maybe for next year or something like that, we should have a categorized award type thing. Anime of the year, slice of life, shonen, isekai, a categorically filled award to give out.
Right.
Maybe something to think about, you know?
Yeah, I'm with it.
It'd be dope. But I should have mentioned this at the beginning.
That's crazy.
I hate when I totally forget about this, but I mean, last seconds of the podcast. But congratulations to Madhouse. With one episode left, we decided to finally crown Frieren our anime of the year of 2023. So congratulations to them and y'all for getting that award. I'm so fucking stupid for not mentioning this at the beginning, but shout out to y'all for getting that, deservingly so, easily deserving. And yes, we do feel like our anime of the year award is very important to us.
Yeah. Because
it means it had to be leagues above everything else. And we watch a lot of shit. Hundreds
leaps and bounds.
Yeah, so but as always, I'm at Polo Bornfly on all social media.
I'm at King Telliano on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mike Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mike Check Waifu on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And as always, Mike Check.
Yeah.
You're now tuned into Mike Check Waifu. Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you?